Hello guys, how are you? Welcome again to the third tutorial of the user defined function. Okay, in the previous tutorial we are learning what are the basics of the function of a user defined function. In today's tutorial we will learn the categories of the function. Okay, we will differentiate the functions in several categories. Okay, mainly, we differentiate the functions in five categories. Okay, so we will discuss the first category is the function with no arguments. The function with no arguments and no return types. Okay, so I am repeated again. The functions with no arguments and no return values. Okay, no return values. The basic syntax, what is the syntax of this type of function? You will remember the syntax. The syntax is void function name and void. You know that the first one is the return type. I am saying that the function with no arguments and no return values, so returning void, returning nothing, and the no arguments, so in the place in this argument place there is also void, function with no arguments. Okay, so this is the syntax of a function, your declaration or prototype, and the function definition, the syntax of. So when a function has no argument, it does not receive any data from the calling function. A function is okay. If when a function has no argument, so it does not receive any data from the calling function. The function, when a function has no arguments, it does not receive any data from the calling function. Similarly, when it does not return a value, the calling function does not receive the calling function. The calling function does not receive any data from the called function. Calling called function. In effect, there is no data transfer between the calling function and the called function. Calling function means which function which function has the actual parameter. These function are calling function. Call করছে. Okay. The functions are say calling function. Suppose if you see a program in the before program, which function the when the function is function call at the time of function call, the function call, it will containing the actual arguments. You know about this. Okay, you well known about this. This function is called the calling function, and which function get after calling the flow of control. Okay, the flow of control of your program go to the function declaration. Okay, function declaration. So this function will say called function. Called called function. Suppose if I write it this. Okay, if I so guys, if you see here carefully, the function prototype or declaration, I write the in the return type the void. I'm saying what is the type category of this function. There is no void function, means no arguments, no return types. Okay, there is no data transfer to the calling function to the called function. Okay, so there is no data transfer. Okay, so it is the basic a simple program. Okay, if you see here the void function void int main, when the function call that flow of control will transfer this. If you see here, at first the function will print after the function because there is no data transfer. No data transfer. So printf equal to after. Okay. If I run this code, see carefully. You see the code function after. Okay. So at first the function will print after the function. Okay. Statement. The after will print. So there is a one type, and the second type is the functions with argument and no return values. The function with arguments but no return values. The main function has no control over the way the function receives the input data. Here, the one-way data transfer is happening. In this case, sorry, if you see the code, this is the code. In this way, there is a one-way data transfer. The main function has no control over this function receive the input. There is a one-way data transfer. The data communication between the calling function and called function. Calling function means this function is called the calling function. Calling function. This is called the calling function. This is called the called function. This is called the calling function, and this is called the called function. Calling function and called function. There is a one-way data transfer. The calling function will transfer the data to the called function, but the called function does not receive because the void. Because in this case there is an argument but no return types. If I run this code, if you see here, there is an interest calculation into this program. I am uh, see you if you see carefully the interest. If I passing three arguments p, this you know that these arguments are called the actual arguments and these arguments are called the formal arguments. If you see here, at first I passing three data. Okay. And this data will be copy here, copy in these variables, and after that I will calculate the interest and printf. Okay. When the flow of control will transfer this, okay, printf t, but here the t, it will print the garbage value. Because if you see here, the print will print the zero. If I run this code, if you see one second. If you see this code, the total equal to 140 and total equal to 0. Okay. The 140 is under this function. The 140 is the real result, and the total 0. 0 means here, if you see here, there is a no data transfer to the called function to the calling function. So the t equal to null. Okay. The t equal to null. So the t will print 0 only. Okay. So I will does not expand this video. So in the next tutorial, we will learn the other two categories: the function with arguments and one return value, the function with no arguments but return a value. Okay. So thank you, and please subscribe this channel, and please comment us, and please like this video, so it will be motivated me to make more videos. Okay. Please. Thank you.